Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Kyle from the TF Review, and today we're going to be taking a look and taking a step back and looking at Warbotron WB01-B. This is Heavy Noisy, inspired by, of course, Transformers combaticon Brawl. So taking a quick look at the packaging, we can see that it's pretty much the same as all the other Warbotron packages we've got so far, with this nice silver gloss, and then it's got kind of a matted picture of Bruticus right there, and a grade-scaled picture of Heavy Noisy. On the side, you have the name and his code, and on the back you have yet another piece of the giant mural that will become Bruticus. After we've removed the silver metallic sleeve, we have, of course, him sitting right there, and we have a nice picture, which is actually the same picture that was on the cover, but now it's been colorized and looks very menacing. On this side, of course, we have our tradition of many misspelled words, such as surrogate and the Aramed forces of the Warbotron, and on the back, it just says Heavy Noisy. You have a couple pictures, but they're pretty low opacity, so it's hard to see. That basically does it for the packaging. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the figure itself. So once we finally got Heavy Noisy out of the packaging, you can see we do get quite a few things, starting with, of course, the comic book and instruction manual, as well as his collectible card. And these we can just put to the side for now. We don't really need them. And you get his accessories. You get two little blasters. They're both identical, and they have silver barrels, you know, so they're a little bit of paint and a little bit of detail. They're nothing too special, but they're there. You also get his main turret, which comes in two pieces. This is, of course, main turret for the tank mode. And if you want, this becomes his blaster, and this becomes his shield. So to turn this into his blaster, all we need to do, we can fold the barrel down. We don't have to, but it's, you know, something you can do. And you also want to make sure that the long pin is pointed downwards, because there's a long one, and then there's a short one. Then what you can do is lift up his little sight, and then you want to fold these side pieces down. And you have to be careful because these hinges right here, they're super fragile. And lastly, you just need to fold these up and around, and then now you've kind of got mortars attached to his gun, and he can go ahead and hold this. And holds it just fine. And then with his shield, there's a small groove right there, and that just pegs into this little hook right here. It's not a super solid connection, but it holds well enough. Also, if you want, you can store this gun on his back right here, and it stores just fine, or you can turn it around and have the barrel facing downwards. Personal preference, really. I wish there was a way, you can't do this, but I wish there was a way you could just store his shield on his back. I thought that would have been really cool, but I guess that's not something they incorporated. Now, he is really nicely detailed, I have to say. In terms of the detail, I have no complaints at all, but where the complaints come is in the articulation. The legs are fine. You know, they're on universal joints, move in and out. They're nice and buttery and feel good. Bend at the knee. Do the transformation, you can get well over 90 degrees, which is really nice. And the feet do pivot, so you can get a nice wide A stance, and it holds nice and solid. Also, you do get a bit of extra heel support back here with these two, but you don't exactly need them. If you want, he can just kind of stand on his own. Up here, you do have a waist swivel, and then the arms is where things kind of get a little bit wonky. They can rotate 360 degrees. They can move in and out, but they're on a joint that not only knocks him in the head, but that's about as far as you're going to go. And his arms can bend less than 45 degrees. We're talking like nothing right there, maybe 30 degrees at most. He also has an upper bicep swivel, and I forgot to mention he has an upper thigh swivel, which is kind of nice. Again, not a super amount of articulation, probably the least articulative of the Warbotron bunch, but it has enough so that it gets what it needs to do done. And these heel pieces really do come in handy, very much so. Now to transform him into his tank mode, what we can do is put him to side, Just fold this turret back up so how it was when we originally had it, like that, and then we want to take it and just insert it in there. And it doesn't actually peg in anything, it's just kind of a friction, just being held in by friction right now, but when we do peg it in, it's gonna hold nice and solid. To get now, for the bulk of the robot right here, to get him into robot mode, all we need to do is take him, peg his feet forward, close these up, then we can peg his legs together, and fold it down. After we fold it so that the knees are past this point, we can take him and rotate his feet around, and just fold them down like that, and that holds everything in place, just down there. Again, now we continue sort of breaking him in half. And there is his legs. It's, again, super easy leg transformation. For his arms, we do need to push them back in. It's a little bit tight, but it gets better over time. Make sure that they're nice and snug to the side. Now all we need to do is sort of fix his torso, his upper torso part. And to do that, we just want to turn him around. Fold this little gray piece down. And then now he does rotate, and we can twist his head around and just kind of fit it right there in that little groove, and it fits nice and snug. But I did do that a bit out of order. Actually, we need to line up his hands. And then now we can go ahead and do that, and his hands will just kind of slide into these grooves right here on the side. There we go, and now we're nice and snug. Now we're going to close this silver piece. You'll notice there are two pegs right there, two holes right there, and this actually just locks everything in place nice and snug. Now we want to take these pieces right here. They just fold out. They're on little pivot pins. You just take them and slide them downwards. Again, on this side, take it, slide it downwards. Lastly, all we need to do is peg the turret, and there we go. Now we've got Heavy Noisy in his tank mode, and he does have actually a very nice looking tank mode. It doesn't do a whole lot. The turret can rotate, and the gun can point up and down, and if you want, you can flip up that little targeting sight right there. And that's basically all the tank mode really does. Also, if you want, you can peg the little blasters right there, which is kind of cool. I like that. I actually really dig the way this looks. I like to keep it like that. He doesn't roll. There's no wheels molded. It's all just molded tank tread, and I think that's designed to basically just sit on Fierce Attack's trailer because it just fit just nice and snug. So I think that's when you're displaying the Warbotrons in their vehicle modes, that's definitely where this is going to sit. So, that basically does it for this video review of Warbotron Heavy Noisy. My thoughts are, it's definitely not the best Warbotron figure. It does have a lot of issues, especially with the arm articulation. You do have to find yourself moving stuff around. The tank mode is especially nice. It's literally a brick. Again, you can't really tell it's a robot just by looking at the bottom of it. This thing is literally, it's just solid plastic, and it transforms and folds up real nice. And the robot mode itself, it looks nice with the exception of the articulation issues. And it's just kind of one of those things that you need to get this guy into Not Bruticus, which I will go over when I do the full review of the big Warbotron combiner a little bit later. So that does it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at the TF Review, and I've got a lot more combiner videos coming up, so stay tuned, friends. Stay tuned, and I will see you all in the next video. Pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow.